Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Bob Proctor wrote a book called The ABCs of Success, and he talks about ambition. And he said, do you ever think of yourself as a natural goal achiever? If you don't, you should, because you are a natural goal achiever. The moment the first breath of life filled your lungs, you set out pursuing goals. You are innately programmed to improve the quality of your life. Each of your first early achievements brought with them tremendous satisfaction, along with great pride and joy. Your first goal was to get something to eat. And when have you ever seen anyone more satisfied than a baby who has just been fed? Or when have you seen greater pride and joy than on the face of a new mother nursing her baby? How about those other first early goals? To crawl, to walk, to talk. Think of the satisfaction, pride, and joy that came with that first word or that first step. The satisfaction with the first word or first step soon wears off and dissatisfaction sets in. You want to put words together. You want to make sentences. You want to be understood. You want to put steps together and move ahead and run after your friends. You don't want to be left behind. These become goals. And as you accomplish them, more satisfaction, pride, and joy followed. But so did the feeling of dissatisfaction. You wanted to accomplish more. You wanted to do greater things. You naturally want to experience life and experience it in abundance. Not only not only should, you can have the things that you want, all of them, and you will have them if you rekindle that early spirit that caused you to pursue and achieve those first goals. Bob Proctor says, unfortunately, too many of us were told at an early age that we should be satisfied with what we had. Goals and their importance were lost. He suggests you should never be satisfied, happy, but not satisfied, because dissatisfaction is a creative state. Dissatisfaction took you out of the cave and put you into the condominium. It gave us the wheel, the fax machine, the furnace. Dissatisfaction gave you and me a lifestyle that is the envy of the world. Develop a healthy dissatisfaction with your life. Set new goals, big, exciting goals. Then set out to achieve them with the same enthusiasm that you knew and used as a baby. That is called living. Everything else is dying. Big results require big ambitions. Aim high. Behave honorably. Prepare to be alone at times and to endure failure. Persist. The world needs all you can give. Alfred Lord Tennyson said, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Now, that doesn't mean pushing and forcing and making things happen. There's a difference between pushing and forcing and doing things that you think have to be done and allowing. It's not sitting back and doing nothing, but it's doing nothing in the way of trying to make it happen the way you've been taught. Bob Proctor talks about attitude, attitude as our gift. Nature gave a wonderful gift to most of her little creatures, a gift we call protective coloring, so that the deer blends into the forest, the fish blends into the stream, the bird blends into the tree. But from one notable creature, this gift was withheld. The human creature stands out like a sore thumb in any sort of terrain. Bob Proctor said, I believe this is because the human was given a much greater gift. You and I have the godlike power to make our surroundings change to fit us. When you change or improve as a person, your environment and surroundings change to reflect this improvement. Think about what I just said. When you change, when you improve as a person, then your environment and surroundings change to reflect this improvement. It's your responsibility. When you change you, your environment changes naturally. How many times have we said, I don't like what that guy is doing. I wish she would change. If he just did something differently, then my life would be better. No, no, no. When you change, then your life gets better because the outside follows the inside. Bob Proctor writes, just as you can tell what a business is doing for a community by observing what the community is doing for the business, so can you, with a few notable exceptions, tell what a person is doing for the community by assessing what the community has done for the person. You can tell a lot about a person by carefully examining his or her environment. Contrary to popular belief, people are not the reflection of their environment nearly as much as we might think. Environment is a reflection of the people. When you change the people for the better, the environment will change for the better as well. Watch one person change, and that person will leave his or her old environment and seek out a new one that more closely reflects their emerging being. Our attitude is the environment we carry with us during the day. Our attitude proclaims to the world what we think of ourselves. And our attitude indicates the sort of person we have made up our minds to be. It is the person we will become. Yes, as we look at the fish, the bird, or the animals in the wild, we do marvel at how well nature has camouflaged them. But don't you think we should spend a little time being overwhelmed by our own great gift of creative ability? And then do all we can to develop and utilize this ability? Our environment, the world in which we live and work, is a mirror of our attitudes and expectations. Your living is determined not so much by what life brings to you as by the attitude you bring to life. Not so much by what happens to you as by the way your mind looks at what happens. Bob Proctor teaches when people say, "That's right, it's right, he's right, she's right." Those words are echoed every day by millions of people. Once we decide we're right, an abundance of energy goes into defending our rightness. However, if we look at the situation objectively, we will quickly become aware that we are never right. Our way may be a good way. It can be a valid way. It might even be a better way. But it will never be the right way. The minute you believe your way is the right way, that makes all other things wrong. That attitude will quickly paralyze progress and shut down the creative juices. He writes, "Permit me to make a suggestion. The next time you hear yourself saying, 'That's right,' or 'I'm right,' correct yourself immediately by repeating, 'That is a good way, and I might act on it. However, there is a better way, and I will look for it.'" When I grew up, there was a rotary dial telephone attached to the wall and a cord attached to it. And when I was on the phone speaking with someone, if I wanted privacy, I had to stretch that cord around the corner and close the door in the bedroom so that I could block out the noise from the kitchen and the living room from my younger brothers and sister. Now you can be on your phone in the middle of a busy restaurant, in the middle of a busy grocery store, or while you're trying to relax and play a game of golf or fish. The phone is with you all the time. Bob Proctor writes, "The first telephones were a good way, a better way, even a great way to communicate. However, history has proven that the first telephones were certainly not the best way to communicate. By comparison with today's telephone systems, they were terrible. There used to be an operator with wires connecting phones, connecting one person to another. And before that, I don't even know the first telephones in history. Think about the things that you take for granted today. Your refrigerator. Some people have refrigerators that look like cupboards. You can't even tell where the fridge is in their kitchen. It's not a simple box with a giant block of ice in it. As the world changes and develops and becomes better and better and better, things change. Don't think that the way you work, the way you do something is the only way or the best way. What if there's a simpler way? What if there was an easier way? Instead of resisting and fighting and pushing against and deciding that this is the way we've always done it, or my way is the best way, what if you're blocking yourself from doing something easier, simpler? Allow the flow. What does it feel like when you're in flow? You're relaxed. Things just come to you. You attract what you need, what you want, by being relaxed, by not pushing, not having to do it your way, allowing things just to be. This basic concept holds true with everything we do, from healthcare to air travel. Think of your own business or industry, the work that you do, and the role that you play in it. You could very easily be caught in the trap of doing your job the same way because you believe it is the right way. It may be effective, but there is always a better way. One small adjustment could improve your productivity 100%. Your way may be effective, it may be valid, but it's never right. There's always a better way. Find it. Our attitude toward others determines their attitude toward us. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. An honest disagreement is often a good sign of progress. Bob Proctor also writes, "Rise above it." One of the most common reactions to frustration is aggression. Someone drives in front of us and blocks our progress while we're rushing to an appointment. Our thin veneer of civilized behavior peels off with a blast of the horn or an angry shout. While aggression may be a direct and common reaction to frustration, the reaction itself often leads to additional sources of frustration, especially if it's another person who is the target of the aggression. The other person may hit back. Bob Proctor gives examples in this book, The ABCs of Success. He says, showing our anger at a police officer who pulls us over for not coming to a full stop may change the officer's decision from giving us a warning to giving us a ticket with a fine. Psychologists used to think that frustration automatically leads to aggression. But further research suggested that that was not true in all people or all cultures. If aggression is a learned response, it can be unlearned and other more adaptive responses substituted. Sir Alec Guinness, the great actor of stage and screen, suggested an excellent substitute. Guinness told a story of how his friend and fellow actor Sir Tyrone Guthrie had a phrase for everything that went wrong. Guinness said that Guthrie used this phrase for everything from a toothache to a catastrophe, such as the loss of the company's costumes when they were traveling on the road. It was just 3 simple words: rise above it. I'm sure you will agree, if we all faced our troubles in that frame of mind, many of those troubles would vanish, and the frustration that often accompanies our problems would disappear. Put it to the test today with the first problem you are faced with. Just say, rise above it. Repeat it out loud. Rise above it. I think maybe that's where Mel Robbins' "let them" has come from. People today are saying, just let them. Let them have their way. Let them do what they want. Let them be right. Let them be wrong. Let them do it the way they want to do it. Let them be angry. Let them. Rise above it. Don't buy into the aggression. Don't buy into the anger. You have a beautiful goal. You know what you want. allowing someone else's aggression or problems or bad mood change your whole day doesn't take you closer to what you have decided for your life. Peace, prosperity, health. Rise above the circumstance. You might have heard the story of Viktor Frankl being a prisoner of war. And he said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't matter what's happening at work. It doesn't matter who said what or who's doing what, or you're cut off in traffic, or you're passed over for a promotion. Choose your attitude in any given set of circumstances. Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. I'm going to say what I said back at the beginning of this morning mindfulness practice. When you change or improve as a person, your environment and surroundings change to reflect this improvement. What is it that you desire? If you want that peaceful, easy feeling, embrace the calm. Being aggressive, having to do things right, having to people do things your way, that does not create peace. Look around your office, look around your home, look around your vehicle. Is everything a mess? Is everything in a chaotic state of being? Bob Proctor would say, when there is chaos in your surroundings, that shows a chaos in your mind. Your mind is always reflected in your environment. What you think, the actions that you take show up in your results, in your environment. You want your circumstances and conditions to change? Take the necessary time to visualize what you want. What does it feel like? How would your life be better if things were calm and easy, clean and clear? You have clarity in where you're going. You've decided you're not settling, just like the baby learning to walk. Once you learn to walk, you want to learn to run. You want to learn to skip and jump and ride a bike. You are innately programmed to improve the quality of your life. And think back, you wouldn't remember learning how to walk and talk as a baby, but each of your first early achievements brought with them tremendous satisfaction along with great pride and joy. You learn to feed yourself. You learn to dress yourself. You learn to make decisions. You learn to put words together. You learn to take steps. Now continue that learning. Set a goal that you desire, because no matter what goals you've accomplished, you end up with a feeling of dissatisfaction. You always want to accomplish more and do greater things. What is it that you desire now? What do you desire the most? What fabulous thing have you decided that you would love? Get clear on that. Is it a peaceful, calm, loving family environment? Are you acting calm and peaceful and loving? The energy that you send out is the energy that returns to you. Don't decide you're right. Look for a better way. There's always a better way. Whether it's in your family life, in your business, in the way you do things. It might be a good way, but there's always better. What do you choose to bring into your life? The first step is to get clear, and that comes from being calm and relaxed, settling down your central nervous system, and deciding, what outcome do I want? What am I thinking? You can always tell what's going on by how you're feeling. The energy that you put out is the energy that's coming back to you. Write down what you want. Ask yourself, how am I acting? What am I doing? And is what I'm about to do going to take me closer to that goal that I desire? Rise above it. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.